Royal Rumble 2025 predictions, let's do it. Starting off first with the 2 out of 3 falls tag team title match between DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, I've been really impressed with what those two teams have been doing lately, and I feel like this is going to be quite a big match. A bit of a shock though, right? They've barely featured the tag titles on anything other than the weekly shows, so to see it on the PLE is one thing, to make it surely going to 3 falls is quite another. We're basically getting 3 matches in one there, right? After not being on a PLE for ages. Well, I think this time we will see the Motor City Machine Guns coming out on top. The feud's been great so far. It's all been about making DIY look like naughty heels and make the Machine Guns look like the deserving baby faces who have come in recently to WWE. And I think what better way to solidify them as a top tier tag team in the WWE than giving them a huge win on such a big PLE. So I think Motor City Machine Guns are going to be your new tag team champions.
Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY. Now look, I've liked the build up of this feud. I think DIY stealing it from MCMG was a perfect way to kind of keep this feud bubbling and building. It's going to go 1 apiece, so I feel like Motor City Machine Guns will probably get the first pin, and then DIY will get the second, and it will come down to the third fall, I think, which is going to be a guarantee. My overall prediction though, I think Motor City Machine Guns walk out as new champions. However, this is the end of DIY. I think DIY, we lose them. DIY destructs at Royal Rumble.
The tag team championship match between the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY, and into a 3 falls match. Champions going into this are DIY. DIY coming out of this World Championship still with limited hands. I reckon there will be some interference, probably in like the second thing, in the form of someone like Pretty Deadly or Street Profit or something like that.
And up next is the Charlotte Flair show, the Women's Royal Rumble. Bit of a spoiler there, I guess. I've come out and said it already. Charlotte Flair surely is winning the Women's Rumble. I can't really see an obvious pick beyond Charlotte Flair. They have been airing vignettes for her return, specifically at the Rumble. We know she's in the Rumble. It's not going to be a surprise, so I think she's probably just going to win it. Now, my reason for this is because I think it looks like they probably are going to be setting up her versus Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. Feels like a big time WrestleMania match, doesn't it? Now, personally, I'm looking forward to having her back. I think she's a great performer. While there have been claims over the years of her being pushed too much, her talent does kind of justify it, right? But it's a very frequent thing. So her coming back and winning the Rumble, I think will get a bit of fan backlash if that is the case, which is a bit of a shame. But at the same time, I don't know what else they would do.
For the Women's Royal Rumble match, it could be Becky. She could return. There's rumours going around that AJ Lee could return. I love the rumour mill. It's one of my favourite things for Royal Rumble because you don't know who's going to win, who's going to be there. For me, there's going to be one person, I think one person being victorious, and I think it's Charlotte Flair.
Then we go to the Women's Royal Rumble. I think this one's cut and dry that it's going to be a Charlotte Flair win, you know. As much as I don't want it to, I do think Charlotte Flair is coming out of this as the winner and will go on to WrestleMania to face Tiffany Stratton and put an end to Tiffy time potentially.
Now, WWE title is on the line in a ladder match. Old school, right? IC belt and IC belt. No, this time it's going to be the Winged Eagle and current WWE Championship, as Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, who also lays claim to the title, will be looking to climb the ladder and surely have that iconic image of grabbing both. Well, who will it be that grabs both titles? None other than Cody Rhodes, surely, right? It doesn't feel like this is the time they're going to take the title off of him. And Kevin Owens seems to quite often get in these positions, right? Where he's that kind of wrestler that gets you to that next point, or that wrestler that's being used at the Royal Rumble in this position already. We've seen that before as well. So, yeah. While I've enjoyed the feud, it just feels obvious. Now, if Kevin did win, it'd be a massive shock, be a bit of a swerve, and hey, I'd kind of be up for it. I don't really see it happening.
Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Man, with the way this has been building, I feel like the perfect person to win this would be Kevin Owens. It would make sense in that way, because Kevin has he's had a bit of run through what's been going on. Not that he's a champion. I've not really enjoyed Cody's. like his run at all. Same as Gunther's. It's been a bit hit and miss. So I'm kind of edging more towards Kevin Owens. That being said, what your heart thinks and what your mind thinks are two different things. My heart wants Owens because I'd love to see him have a run with that title, especially him walking around with the Winged Eagle one. But I just don't see it happening. I think it's going to be a gnarly match, but Cody Rhodes is walking out still champion.
Next up is the WWE Championship ladder match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Now, interesting note actually on the Raw this week was that there was all mention of people going after Cody for the title. No mention of potentially Kevin Owens. So that makes me think it's going to be a Cody Rhodes victory.
Now the men's Royal Rumble. Now don't worry, we will get into surprise entrances and returns and things like that on our build-up show. But here, I'm just going to let you know who I think is going to win the Royal Rumble. And I think that will be CM Punk. Now there are other strong candidates. I know John Cena with his final year. You could probably make a point for Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins getting back in that title picture, Roman Reigns of course forcing himself back into a main event as well, potentially going after Cody or Kevin Owens. Or maybe it is Kevin Owens that wins the title and it throws a spanner in the works here as well. But I think CM Punk is the one at the moment that feels like the safest bet about who he could go to WrestleMania and face. So I'm going to go with CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble.
And the men's Royal Rumble match. There's too many names. We've had this discussion on the live shows. If you've watched them, if you've had the chance to tune in, then you'll know that there's so many names kind of floating around at the top. Who it could literally be anyone. The names are being thrown around: Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, John Cena again is another one, Seth Rollins. There's too many names to throw in. Like to just randomly throw out them and think, okay, this is who's going to be and where the story is going to go. After watching Monday Night Raw, I think we may be going Cody versus Punk, and if that's the case, that means Punk would have to win the Royal Rumble. Now, Punk hasn't done that yet. He's been a Money in the Bank holder. Obviously, he had a long run with the WWE Championship. There's not much more he has left to really prove, and obviously, he wants to be a WrestleMania main event. So, I'm going CM Punk. But I would love it to be someone so random and obscure that it'll really throw everything, as a curveball, and we'll see what happens. But I'm going CM Punk.
And finally, the men's Royal Rumble. Now I think this field is a little bit bigger. I think we've got John Cena, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. All three men that could win this. But I think in his final year, I'm going to have to go with John Cena.
Okay, so those are my predictions for the Royal Rumble. Please join us on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel for our kickoff streams and build-up coverage on the night of the PLE, where we'll be breaking down all the latest rumours surrounding the event, including returns and debuts at the Royal Rumble itself. Now, it's always one of the most exciting shows to cover throughout the WWE calendar, and we hope to have you with us on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel as we take a deep dive into previewing it even further.